Multiple news organizations are reporting that the Deferred Resignation Program is a severance offer where you're going to get paid and you're not going to have to work. One reporter even went as far as saying, go on a cruise and you get paid while you're there. We've also been talking to a lot of federal employees that believe that they're not going to have to work and they're going to get this big check. We have a different opinion because we've been doing a lot of the research and really digging into this. We want to be able to make sure that you're protected and you're making a very informed decision because you have a very short period of time to be able to do this, and it is a very big decision that is most likely irreversible. In this video, we're going to share our concerns for the very vague wording. We're going to give you specific examples on both the OPM side and also from the Fork in the Road email of why we're concerned about this. And we're going to provide you some guidance of some places where you can get expert advice to help you make this decision. Welcome, I'm Ed Smith, President of Valor Wealth Partners, where we're dedicated to educating federal employees on your complex and often underutilized benefits. Now, in today's topic of this new Deferred Resignation Program, we're coming at you very quickly. It's been less than 24 hours since this program came out, and we've been working really hard to decipher all of this information, looking at a lot of news cycles, news stories. We've been reading other articles. We've been reading the actual documents that make up this stuff. So things are changing quickly, but we're not seeing a lot of really competent advice or a lot of competent concerns about what you should do. So we're going to be able to provide some multiple channels in the notes section. We've got a lot of resources. We're also going to have a couple of ways that you can come back and get updates of what's going on and how you can be able to do that. But it's going to take some time to be able to do this. So please bear with us because we're coming at you very quickly. Most of the content on this channel is more longer form content where it can last for years. This is going to be really quickly. So we're recording it, like I said, within 24 hours. If you're watching this in a week or so, the information might be a little outdated. Please be gentle with the comments that you talk to us about because we're doing our best to get this out as fast as we can so we have information for everybody that's out there. Okay? One of the things I also want to stress is that this is not meant to scare anybody. We just care about people, and we want to be able to make sure that we're giving you that information as best that we can. So we want to protect you. Again, it's just information. Take the information and just do your own research before you make a big decision. And that's what we really want to be able to do with this. So now let's get right into the meat of what we want to be able to talk about today and why this is important. Okay. So when we look at both the OPM website and also the Fork in the Road email, there are two specific promises that are being made. One of them, you will retain your pay and benefits. The other one, you will be exempted from any return to office requirements. And those are the only two promises that are being made. We're going to talk a little bit more about where this is, verbiage. I'm actually going to put it up on the screen so we can actually see this. All other statements have some level of a condition. Unless this happened, or accept these people, or accept in this situation. So we want you to be very cautious of going beyond these two very specific promises, and they're made multiple times in different documentations. Again, you will get paid with benefits, and you will not have to return to work. Those are the two, return to office, not return to work. Return to office, and there's a big difference between returning to office and not working. So let's dig into this a little bit more. First, I want to talk about the Fork in the Road email, and then we're going to talk about some OPM resources and backing this up a little bit more on some of this type of stuff. The first thing I want to discuss on the Fork in the Road email is who is excluded. Now, again, most of you are like, well, we know who's excluded. The military is excluded, postal employees are excluded, immigration enforcement, and national security. But there was one other group that I think a lot of people stepped over, and I really think this is important for everybody to understand. I'm doing a lot of reading here. Those in any other positions specifically excluded by your employing agency. What that means is that you might be in an excluded position, you sent this resign email in, your boss gets the message, and now you're in an awkward situation because you didn't know you were in an excluding position. This is also so encompassing. There's so much vagueness around this. This could be 100,000 people. It could be 1 million people. We don't know what the level of what positions are specifically included beyond this. So this is very vague. And so I really would try to say, don't get your hopes up too much on this. While they are expecting about a 10% reduction in workforce just from people taking these offers, we want to be able to look at the specific verbiage. So again, who could be excluded? That's another group that's out there that you want to be able to do it. Again, let's go back to those two promises. All right, and here's the verbiage that is coming out. Giving my impending resignation, I understand I will be exempt from any return to office requirements pursuant to recent directives, and that I will maintain my current compensation and retain all existing benefits, excluding but not limited to retirement accruals, until my final resignation date. Now, this is in the email that you got. And again, those two promises are, I will be exempt from any return to office requirements, not I will not have to work or I will not have to do my job. All right, it's just return to office. So you're able to work from wherever you are and not have to be physically in the office, which has been the mandate that came out earlier or less than a week ago. The next one is, I will maintain my current compensation and retain all existing benefits. All right, so again, the two promises, don't have to return to the office and you will get paid no matter what. Okay, so we're going to dig down in a little bit more, but those I just want to really be able to say, this is right from the email, and I want to show you where that is. Okay. The next one is, so if they're saying, if this is what those two promises are, why is everyone saying I won't have to work? Well, it's because of something else that was in the email. It says, I understand my employing agency will likely make adjustments in response to my resignation, including moving, eliminating, consolidating, reassigning my position and tasks, reducing my official duties, and or placing me on paid administrative leave until my resignation date. So everybody took that last, they're going to place me on paid administrative leave. Yes, but go back to the first sentence where it says, will likely make adjustments. Not will definitely make adjustments or this will absolutely happen. It's at the discretion of the agency that they might make adjustments for you or for their workforce or their needs, and then you wouldn't have to be able to do it. So again, it doesn't say you won't work, but it says an option that your agency can be able to implement if that's one. But there's a lot of other options that they have. They could actually make you reassign more work to you than actually reducing your work. There's a lot in this paragraph that's on there. All right. Let's skip away from the email. And again, as you're seeing this, this is really about that severance option, not about a lot of the other variables that are in this offer that there's. There's a lot of other factors that you want to be able to look at. So I'm just really trying to focus on the severance package, or everybody believing or hearing that they're not going to have to work, but they're going to get paid to not work. All right. This is what I really am focusing on a lot of this. All right. So now let's look at some of OPM's guidance. Again, there's tons of resources and links in the notes section from the video. So here, OPM released their FAQs. That link is down there. The very first question is, am I expected to work during the deferred resignation period? Very clear question. Their answer is no. Except in rare cases determined by your agency, you are not expected to work. So they answered it with a positive for you that's saying no, but then they clarified it, a condition on that where it says except in rare cases. So what could be a rare case? So let's think about this for a second. To me, I can think of three very specific rare cases, so let's go over them. Potentially losing a significant amount of their workforce in 1 week, maybe 1% or more. That's a very rare case. A hiring freeze where they can't hire anybody to replace this workforce, or new and frequently changing demands on the organization. These are all three very rare cases that they can say, no, we're not going to allow you to go because we need you because of this rare case. So again, the agency has that here. So the answer were very clear cut that it's that you are not expected to work. But again, they're clarifying it with saying that there's a good chance that you probably will. So I would say that even though that is something that somebody is replying to and saying, oh, well, OPM says, no, I will not have to work, I would challenge that. All right. The next area when we're going to be talking about this is a letter from the acting director of OPM. All right. Now, with this, I'm going to read the specific verbiage because this is very important of what they're saying. I think there's a second paragraph that's there, and there's a copy of this. You can actually look at that too. Employees who accept deferred resignation should promptly have their duties reassigned or eliminated and be placed on paid administrative leave until the end of the deferred resignation period, generally September 30th, 2025, unless the employee has elected another earlier resignation. So that seems very positive in that first part of the paragraph that, hey, this is going to be immediate. This is going to be as soon as possible. We're going to get all of these people that have asked for resignation to go out. And then it goes on. And then there's another unless, a condition of this. It says, unless the agency head determines that it is necessary for the employee to be actively engaged in transitioning job duties, in which case employees should be placed on administrative leave as soon as those duties are transitioned. When I read this, the first question that came to mind is, transition to who? You've just lost about 10% of your workforce. There is nobody to transition this to. There's a hiring freeze. Again, nobody's coming back to backfill those positions. So if you are there or required to be able to do this, that's going to mean that you're not going to get rid of your job, or you're not going to be able to leave your job because you have to be able to do this. I really want people to look at this, that while it is promising that you could not have to work and you would get paid, the more likelihood is that they're going to say, we are going to be short-staffed and we're not going to be able to replace you with higher demands. You're staying and you're going to have to do this. Now, a lot of the information that is being put out there is talking about if you are eligible for retirement during this period of time, whatever level that is, you can go ahead and ask for that. If you want to end this resignation early, go ahead. We have no problem with that. So what I see happening is people believe they're going to be able to get this no work and get paid. And then the reality sets in that they're actually doing more work or being challenged even more. And there's just a lot more demands on them. And they're going to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm walking away. So either way, it's not a good scenario for most people. Now, who would really benefit, in my opinion, of something like this? Somebody that is just about ready to retire, has already put their retirement paperwork, and maybe the end of February, March, hey, why don't you extend out and maybe be able to work from home for a couple more times or a couple more months, or you're being forced back to the office, but you're going to be retiring anyway, then yeah, this might be a really good thing. But for most people, I would be very cautious. Now, obviously, if you know your position is going to be getting eliminated, then yes, at least you're getting some pay and it gives you some options on there. Another really quick point that I want to address when we're looking at some of the bigger picture items on here is that the email and OPM say that there is nothing stopping you from going and getting more employment while you're in this period of time. Well, there's nothing that's saying it in this directive, but your agency might have specific guidelines that while you're on administrative leave that you cannot be working for another company. Specifically, you might not be able to work for somebody that is related to what you're doing because you are still working for the federal government and that agency. So you have to be very careful on some of those different points. So there's a lot of ambiguity, a lot of vagueness on here, and some of this stuff I just think that you want to take a little bit caution for. So let's go to the next step. So finally, where can you get information? All right. The first place I would go is your direct supervisor or HR. All right. They're going to have a little bit of insight. Now, be patient. They just got this information yesterday too. All right. So everybody is trying to figure this out. I've talked to federal employees. They're having meetings at executive levels, and they're trying to be able to figure out what this means for them, what this means for their employees, and they're trying to be able to give that guidance for you. So just because they don't have answers doesn't mean they're trying to be difficult. They might not have them at all. Okay, but that the OPM guidelines that I was just giving you before, that was from the acting director, that was actually their directives to the agencies of what they should be doing. It is public knowledge, and again, that link is there. So again, even though they have guidance, that guideline is very vague as well. So they're trying to figure this out. If your boss is saying to you, or your direct supervisor or HR is saying to you, nope, you're absolutely not going to have to work. We're going to cut these paychecks right on the, every 2 weeks. You're going to be good, and you're not going to have to return to work. Get it in writing. Okay? A promise is only as good unless it can be backed up, and you want that thing documented and who it's documented from. Don't take this vagueness and just take it, they said that we're good, so we're good. There's a lot of rumors out there. We've talked to a lot of federal employees, and we're hearing a lot of these different things that are out there. Their perception is different because the news is reporting something, and they're talking in a very favorable way for people to take this out, this buyout. And so I will really be cautioning people to be able to do it. The next place to get it is independent resources not tied to the government. We like one resource. There's a lot of articles out there. That's great. We like one resource that's phenomenal for us. It's a company called ProFeds. They do the Fed Impact Retirement Workshops, and they have a lot of different resources that are out there. They're actually having a workshop tomorrow, or a webinar tomorrow virtually. It is filling up fast. It might get to capacity, but it's specifically on preparing for the DOGE workforce reductions. It is there's a link for it. It is on tomorrow or Thursday, January 30th at 1 p.m. Central. So if you can't get into it, there might be other resources in at that link that we're going to be able to share, or there'll be a recording most likely. But even if you can't get into this one or something happens for that one, you can't be able to attend it, there'll most likely be a recording, and then other resources are going to be coming very quickly from them, because they're a great resource that's gathering all of this information, and people are relying on them to be able to do this. So again, an independent source that's not the government saying, oh yeah, we're going to take care of you. They're going to tell you what's really happening, and their analysis from all of the different resources that they have. So there's just a lot going on here. Again, this isn't meant to scare you. I'm just trying to give you some information, give you a different perspective than almost everything that I'm hearing out there, which is good. Enjoy it. Hit that reply button, hit resign, and you're good to go. You're just going to get paid to go out and party for the rest of the, through the summer, and you're good. I don't agree with that. I think there's going to be a little more complications to that, and there's too many conditions and vaguenesses around this. So again, we want the best for you and your family, so please get conflict-free, unbiased advice. Again, we are going to be trying to be updating this on a regular basis. Check the links back, because probably in a couple of days we'll have some more resources where it's a place that you can go to actually get information that's updated, because we know this is stagnant, and again, this is going to be outdated in probably 12 hours, if it's not already by the time we're recording it. So just watch out for these things. We really care about making sure that everybody is protecting the best they possibly can. So thank you. Have a good day, and we'll look forward to helping you next time.